Wow. And by the way, so on Fox yesterday, they were talking about, Rob, is this the clip about laser?
Yep.
Okay, go for it. Watch this, folks.
No, but you always want to keep that option open. And so far, that's not where this is going. As Trump would say, we've never seen anything like this. This is 2 times the firepower that we saw over Iraq and shock and awe. These are B-52s dropping 80,000-pound ordnance. We have artificial intelligence identifying targets. Space Force is seeing where these Iranian missiles launch from and then can take out the launch pad like that. We're shooting down Iranian drones with laser weapons. Also, kamikaze drones, we're using them for the first time ever in combat. So this is just an astonishing display of American military superiority. Probably officially marks the beginning of 21st century warfare. We have completely eradicated the 2 top layers of the Iranian leadership. The Navy's at the bottom of the sea, and their missiles were going from 80 a day to now 20 a day. The case is clear. #1 sponsor of terror in the world. They were ramping up their ballistic missile capabilities. They were digging deeper tunnels to enrich again. And their Navy threatens the flow of oil. So we don't care who rules the country. They just have to play by our rules.
Do you want to go to this? So let me just read this. Laser weapon deployed in Operation Epic Fury as Space Force stops Iran's missiles in their tracks. This is a New York Post story, okay? Iran's weapon debris blown to pieces or mechanically crippled keeps dropping from the Middle East sky. For that, we can thank heat-seeking satellites, military-grade malware, and radar jamming software, all made in America. New technology laser weaponry has been used against Iran as part of Operation Epic Fury. The U.S. Navy destroyer off the coast of Middle East nation is fitted with the new weapon, which appears to be high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance halo systems. The laser is a state-of-the-art device with steerable head, able to concentrate on intense, tightly focused beam of energy and takes out drone. The Space Force. Tom, what can you tell us about this?
So I'm wondering who leaked this story and why are we talking about some of the most advanced stuff? Remember after when we went to get Maduro and they said, oh, I was getting migraines and we were falling down. And remember what it was? No comment, no comment, no comment. And it's like, were we using energy where energy weapons or alternative weapons? We have no comment about that. I think
Caroline Levitt tweeted something about that, and it sounded a little bit like, do you remember that? We're like, wait a minute,
mysterious.
This sounds too perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. So now we're coming out with a lot of detail about how it works, and what it does. So the answer is, there are advanced weaponry that the average person, has not become aware of, and now is rolling into the lexicon of news coverage on international war. And these weapons are important because, remember, the analysis of the interceptors, how many interceptor missiles you have, is the assumption that you have to use a Patriot missile and an interceptor to get all of the incoming rockets. And Mark pointed it out on Business Wednesday very well with a chart. Well, that chart is true only if there's not alternative weapons that will also take these things down. And so what you're seeing here, I'm wondering if we aren't kind of talking to Russia and China here, is pointing out is like, you know what, if you want to send that crap over here and you want to help Iran through the back door, we're going to take this stuff down. So think about this. And because I'll tell you, inside the Department of Defense, we would love China to expose new missile systems by giving them to Iran right now so that we can test against it. It may sound terrible because it puts life at risk, but there's a little part of the Department of Defense that always wants a live test against the enemy's best or against enemy armaments. And so I think we might be talking to China and other people here and letting the world know what this is, and maybe letting the world know, you're going to wait this thing out? I don't have to use Patriot missile intercepts. I've got other things I can use. I'm not going to run out of, I may run out of intercept missiles before you run out of missiles. I will not run out of intercept capability.
Adam.
I mean, let me just break this down very simply. It's not even a fair fight, okay? I mean, look at the cover of what's going on in the Wall Street Journal right now. They basically outline what Iran is doing. They're basically saying Tehran is fighting with jets that date back to the Vietnam War.
But they
Held
look
together
cool.
with the scrounged parts of ingenuity, Iran's aging jets are failing in dogfights. And then it says, talking about the Israeli pilot flying one of the world's most advanced warplanes, made in the U.S., took aim and downed an Iranian jet
35s.
easily, sending it streaking to the ground in a ball of fire. Target is down, completed. Iran is sending a creaking Air Force. Many of the planes are museum pieces kept flying with scrounged parts and pluck that stand little chance against modern warplanes. So what are we talking about
Hey,
here?
Ali, we have to remove that plane from the museum. Does it
Yes.
still work?
Yeah.
Bring it in.
No, we'll get some
Break
parts.
that wall. Let's
Exactly.
go. We
Get
got to take the
So they have
some
this
from the Straits of Hormuz.
1970s technology
Mesri, it's
with
a good plane. You must fly
7th
it.
century ideology, bringing back the Vietnam War, where the United States and Israel and our allies have the most technologically up-to-date, incredible weaponry we've ever seen, not to mention a updated belief system not tied to an apocalyptic theocratic regime that's still citing 7th century beliefs. It's not even close. It'd be like, hey, in today's high school debate, we have the high school debate champion that has a full ride to Yale versus the high school dropout that just failed their GED. Let's see who wins this fight. It's not even close. The American military is the greatest thing this world has ever seen.
Vinny.
I have a question I want to ask you guys. Well, I thought initially the reason that we went in there was because of the people, because of the revolution that the people were doing, the quote unquote 40,000 people that were killed in the streets and all that stuff. But then it's more sounding like this is more about taking out their weapons and their systems and their missile launching. I really hope, are they? We don't know. We can only guess. The goal was for the people to be liberated from this regime, which I agree with 100%. The world's going to be a better place when the evil regime is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope the people are getting together and trying to find out, because once the smoke clears from the lasers and the missiles and the bombs, they need to have a running government. They need to have, and I think Trump had said something about somebody coming in, because with all this craziness, with all the war, I hope they're not losing focus. It's the people. This I thought was because the people were dying and fighting in the streets. It's kind of seeming more like, yeah, I understand they're taking out the weapons and all their leadership, but I hope people are paying attention and focusing on the leadership, because once it's done, somebody has to set up. Adam, there has to be one guy, election, something has to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I think we've been talking about
question.
it. It's regime collapse.
Yeah.
It's not regime change anymore. It's regime collapse and eliminating, listen to what Rubio said, to eliminate their rockets and their ability to rebuild them.
Well, listen, I don't want to. Some of you guys are worried. A lot of people are worried because this is actual footage of Iran's fighter jets taking off to intercept Israel's F-355s. And it's a lot of people are worried about this. If you want to play this clip, go ahead,
Brace for
Rob.
impact here. They're coming down the street hard. This is Iranian jets.
Look in the
right?
sky right there. It's about to take off. That's the new jets.
Oh, my gosh.
Bro, they lost. It's over.
Allah Akbar!
It's over.
Unbelievable.
It's over.
Listen, I mean, look, we're being funny. When I saw that clip, somebody sent me.
Remember, they have no
To be
economy.
honest
You
with
break
that's
it, you
kind
buy
of
it.
what it's like.
Yeah. But it is
I
funny.
have to pay for this now.
It is funny.
They're horrible
Well, let me
at
ask,
defeating
let me ask you-
American.
Let me ask a weird question, Tom. Does this give Ukraine an opportunity right now to say, hey, or is Ukraine kind of on a pause with Russia? They're like waiting for Trump to see what he's going to be doing. Because, Russia would buy the Shaheeds back in 23, 24. They no longer do. They license them, and now they make their own drone identical to it. They call it the Geran or something like that. But they still need small little particles, small little pieces that they use from the Iranian drone. However, so it's $20,000 Shaheed drones being sent to Ukraine. They had the $2,000-$3,000 interceptors that Ukraine produces. Is this opportunity for Ukraine, or is Zelensky kind of sitting there saying, listen, let's just wait for this to get done, because I want to make sure me and Russia get things done as well, and we have some peace. How do you think Ukraine is reacting right now to this?
First of all, Zelensky's begging for some of the stuff that he sees in use, and he's not going to get it because this president's not going to give it to him. And I think, Ukraine's been oddly silent, and not, I think, in a devious way. I just think they and Russia are in this stalemate. And Trump has been, come on, let's get a ceasefire already. And I think a week ago, didn't Zelensky say a week ago, if this, I'll do a ceasefire? But now you can't believe Zelensky because 2 drinks later, he changes his mind and it's still war. So there has been an opportunity for Ukraine to get a ceasefire and to stop this thing for 6 months. And it's been increasingly frustrating to D.C. because they've thought they've had it done a couple times, Pat. So is there an opportunity for Ukraine? Maybe, but I think there's an opportunity for Ukraine to get the ceasefire and knock it off. If you ask me, the first person to stand down gets a ceasefire, but Putin and Zelensky don't want to be the first person to stand down.
I think if this thing continues the way it is, if all of a sudden it continues, drags out, Putin and China have to get involved, don't they? If it drags
in Ukraine?
out. No. If what's going on with Iran, okay, in the war, if it drags out.
Yeah, we don't want that.
I know we don't want that. But how long before you think you're going to see something of, report coming out that, China's doing this or Russia's getting involved with this? How long do you think they can tolerate this taking place?
What do you mean by get involved?
Meaning, say, hey, we're joining the war. We're going to help them. We're sending weapons. We're doing this. We're doing that.
Well,
they probably already are.
I'll give you my hypothesis. Russia has been exposed. They're still fighting the same small piece of the Donbass territory. How many years later now? 4 years later? They can't beat Ukraine, obviously, with our weaponry and technology and aid. And they have no interest, there's no appetite, in my opinion, in Russia to go fight a war on another front. In Iran? No. China and Iran, they're transactional. They're not real allies. China has come out and said that they think Islam is a mental sickness of some capacity, and they have over 1 million Uyghurs locked up in camps. So they're not natural allies. They're business associates, and they're there for the energy, and they're there for the energy alone. So China, they want global domination and global hegemony. If they're going to wage a war, you know where China's going to send their troops? It's one place. It's Taiwan. That's the only thing they're concerned about. The only reason they would get involved is for a lack of energy. That's why the Strait of Hormuz affects China way more than it affects America. We don't even get oil from there. So China is looking at this like, you're messing with our money, you're messing with our energy. We have some moves to make. There's obviously some tariffs conversation there. I could be dead wrong. I don't see Russia and China sending troops at all.
Adam, you're
maybe
right.
military aid, but zero troops.
No, because
let's look at a piece of history. I'm sorry.
No, because the moment, Tom, and please say your point. The moment they send troops, that means you want to go to war, and then it's over, Adam. What if Russia sends troops to Iran to fight America? It's over. Then it's World War III. No, bro. And then China gets involved, and then it's no. That right there, it's over. They're doing it subtly.
Russia for another war when you're basically at a stalemate.
It's been a while, but we need to look at history here. Let's look at history. The U.S. is going to win the Korean War. We are with South Korea, Seoul, pushing north. We're going to win the Korean War when this happened. China dropped 2.5 million troops into Korea. Most people don't know this. The reason the Korean War was a stalemate, because from 1950 to 53, China dropped 2.5 million troops into North Korea to help, and it caused it to be a stalemate across what is now the DMZ and the famous 38th parallel. It's been a while, but China has done it. This was the first time that we had been in active engagement with China. That war was going to be over. Well, and look what happened.
Rob, pull up a world map. And Tom, you're absolutely right.
I'm just saying it's happened before.
We're talking about North Korea, which is literally their next door neighbor. So it affects your house if you don't get involved. Go to North Korea and China. That's where it was going down. Now pan out, look where Iran is. All the way across Asia. They're not sending troops halfway around the world when they could have sent them across the street. So proximity matters in this case. You're absolutely right. We've had issues in the Korean War with China, no doubt. But wouldn't you agree that the landmass wouldn't produce this type of result?
No, it's not a land war. I'm looking at arms. I'm looking at air. I'm looking at do they get involved that way?
And Trump talked about, Rob, no plans of, feet on the ground, but troops on the ground. But he did say this is do you have that clip? Troops on the ground? I think he just said this yesterday. Which clip was that? That it was just yesterday, him talking about that's not the plans of what they're going to be doing. But to me, with China, if it drags out, your number one priority is your state, your country. You're getting 80% of your oil from Iran, from the Strait of Hormuz. And then you're getting 50-something% of it from Venezuela. And you don't have a way to retaliate. Either during this time, I'm trying to wonder, do you think, when you're doing a negotiation and there's stuff that's going on and you're doing this one deal and then you use this to negotiate this complete other deal with them? Do you think, what do you think is the likelihood Trump's team is right now talking to China about negotiating whatever they want?
I think so.
What do you think is the high likelihood?
High likelihood.
I think so as well. It's like, hey, listen, so what do you think? Can you imagine that call?
China is not happy with any of this.
I know they're not. So what I'm saying is, look, we don't want to hurt you. We understand you need the oil, and we understand you can't get it from Venezuela and from Strait of Hormuz. We're going to sell you the oil now. We can sell it to you if you want, but here's what we need in return from you. You better not get involved with Iran. We will gladly sell you the oil, but if you get involved with Iran, it's going to be a massive problem. Stay the F out of this. Do you think if you were to say the likelihood of a call like this, 0 to 100, what do you put?
99.
Tom, where do you put it? Is it 99? Where do you put it?
I think there's a 95% chance.
Oh, so you're there.
Yeah. No. No. I think
wait. When you're that high?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would 90. See this if I'm in this position. I'm making that call. I'm making a call and I'm saying, look, guys, very basic rule. What do you want? Stay out of it. Hey, Russia, Ukraine, if this crisis is so loud that you use this 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, however long it's going to last, get all the massive negotiations done.
Good point.
So in an ideal situation, let's paint a picture if this could possibly happen.
Okay.
Regime change, regime collapse, okay? You go to regime change, that's what Carter did, okay, with Iran.
Horrible.
The regime collapse. Carter was a Democratic president. Going from Reza Shah Pahlavi to Khomeini is not a regime change. That's a regime collapse.
Yes.
Iran was free next day,
gone.
IRGC, gone, right? In 53, Mossadegh, when that happened in the mid-50s, that's a regime change. Mossadegh out, bring Reza Pahlavi in. Iran had a phenomenal relationship with Israel for 26 years, just so you know that. There was no issues with Israel for 26 years. Middle East was at peace. What they're working on right now is the collapse. But if you're in it and you're about to collapse and you call Zelensky, hey, you guys want to get this thing squared away or what? Hey, Putin, we hate the fact that this is going on. What do you want? What do you guys need? If all of a sudden, imagine we wake up in 6 weeks and within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, deals have been done with China. Deals have been done with Russia and Ukraine. And Iran has collapsed. And they're not controlling that oil as well. They're going in. I mean, you have to and by the way, the Gulf states have sided with U.S.
Of course.
Iran has attacked all of these Gulf states, and they're asking a question and saying, did you see in the foreign minister interview, Rob, if you can find this, what's the word they use? Casualties in war. There's a phrase they use that Israel also used with Palestine. They said, he said, why are you attacking some of your allies? Why are you attacking some of these Gulf states? Why'd you attack Turkey? No, we never attacked Turkey. But why'd you hit some hotels? Why'd you hit some properties? You killed some innocent people. Well, listen, if Israel did that with Palestine, why can't we? We're going through it as well. So if all of a sudden you flipped, I'll find a clip and send it to you. It's from the same interview as yesterday, Rob. It's not that one. Whatever interview he did yesterday, he said that in that interview. First one to the NBC that says 600,000 views. Not that one. Go back. That one right there. If you can find it. He says it in there. You look for it and find it. We'll go to it.
Is this collateral damage?
Well,
but I'm just saying to you, if in this type of pressure you're negotiating these other deals, I would put my teams on to work and say, guys, double time, go. Wow. Let's do the deals.
I think you summed it up perfectly regarding China. Let me address Iran for a second. You want to hear a crazy stat? You ready? Iran has struck more Arab countries in 1 week than Israel has done in its entire existence of fighting wars in the Middle East. Iran has sent out more missiles, weapons, planes, drones, and attacked more Arab countries in 1 week than in the history of Israel fighting wars in the Middle East. Can I give you the list of countries that they've been allegedly attacked? So obviously United States bases, Israel. The UAE has received 800 projectiles since Iran. Qatar, who's middle of the road, is now basically siding with the U.S. We have a base there. Kuwait, Bahrain, they attacked residential buildings in Bahrain's capital. Oman, Saudi, U.S. bases in Saudi. Israeli officials believe Saudi may also take military action in response against Iran. Jordan, Lebanon, they're fighting Hezbollah over there. Iraq, Kurdish areas of the region. Cyprus, they attacked, that's a European country. Now there's rumors of Azerbaijan and possibly Turkey received a missile that was sent out of nowhere, not to mention the UK, France, and Germany. Iran is in its last legs, and they're just attacking everybody. Everybody. And meanwhile, everyone's looking back at me like, this is who these people are. No one's coming to Iran's defense. Nobody.
So Iran has now bombed more Arab countries than Israel. So Israel was in first place, now they're second place. Israel's going to be pissed.
Israel's going to be mad.
Rob, did you find it?
I believe so. This is where he's asked about attacking allies in the Middle East.
And then, okay, go for it.
In Israel, and so many targets belongs to the Americans. Their assets, their bases, their installations in the region, and they have not been able to prevent those attacks. Our missiles are still working.
Been asked yet,
missiles
or no?
are still
or is he about to ask the question?
Hitting
because he asked the question. Let the guy ask the question.
So Minister, can Iran win this war? If I can ask you, can Iran win this war, and what does winning look like for Iran?
No, this is not it, Rob. There's a part in it where he's asking casualties. He uses the phrase casualties. I don't know if you're able to search the words. You know how you typically do it on the right and you find it?
There's no transcript for this one, so it's not.
Oh, I got it. It's tougher to find it.
But all your base belong to us.
No, I actually want you to hear it. I don't want to summarize it. I want you to hear it from him because they've done a horrible job making friends. They've done a horrible job making friends because they're attacking their allies. They're attacking some of the guys that they're neutral with.
Well, not even.
Yeah, there it is, right
more
there.
Neutral than allies,
that's it. Let him ask the question, though, Rob.
Mistake.
Okay, he's going to ask, why are you attacking your neighbors?
Our neighbors. We have not attacked Muslim.
Go back. Let him ask the question, Rob.
They can go. They can be a winner at the end of the day.
Minister, explain to us and to the world, really. Iran has chosen to attack at least 10 other countries, many of them your Arab neighbors. None of them were involved in this war. Why are you attacking your Muslim neighbors during the holy month of Ramadan?
Oh, please don't mistake. We have not attacked our neighbors. We have not attacked Muslim countries. We have attacked Americans' targets and American bases, American installations, which are unfortunately located in the soils of our neighbors. So we have made it clear for them. I have been in touch with their foreign ministers, and I have explained that we are not targeting you. We have no problem with you. We are only targeting the American installations and American bases, and the reason is obvious.
But Minister, Iran is hitting civilian targets, striking hotels, high-rise apartments, airports in many of these countries. Those are not military targets.
Let me tell you why this answer is such a bad answer.
We have targeted wherever the Americans are. Maybe there have been some collateral damages, as it is in every war.
Yep.
Look, more than 70,000 people were killed in Gaza by Israelis, and Israeli army called all of them collateral damage. So yes. There is the possibility of, collateral damages in this situation as well. This is what we have warned everybody in the region.
Collateral damage.
Guys, so counter the argument of Israel uses the phrase collateral damage of what happened in Palestine and Gaza, right? Let's put that and argue that. Yeah, that's right. Israel gets away with it. Why can't they get away with it? Fine. Let's isolate that argument over here. Go back to the Gulf states. Ask yourself how they take that answer. Does that answer tell you that they're doing such, accurate, surgical, precise attacks to areas that innocent people in these 10 countries that are Gulf states won't be affected by it? Or do you think those leaders of those countries listen to that and say, wait, you're that reckless?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been with you? Don't get it twisted. We're not waking up here every morning saying Israel's the greatest country in the world. The Gulf states are not sitting there saying, hey, it's awesome. You guys, you don't have no skeletons in your closet. God knows they do. A lot of them, Israel. But this isn't about Israel. This is about Iran and their relationship. So it's like, imagine, Vinny, me, you, and Adam have an issue, and you do something, and he said, well, what about when Adam did this? And I said, I don't care what Adam did to Tom.
It's about me.
I care about what you did to me and the way you handled that. You insulted me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay with that. What was that all about?
Yeah.
I don't trust you now.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think this was a bad look for him. What's the chances those 10, countries paid attention to every word of this interview?
Absolutely.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. And how do you think they handled this answer here?
Oh, okay. You want to play that game,
no
buddy?
problem.
Okay.
You know what he just did? You know why this is so dumb? This is why they suck in diplomacy. Say what you say about, what do you call it? Israel.
Gaza.
These guys understand diplomacy. They understand, hey, listen, yes, we have to negotiate everything in Israel's favor, but we kind of need U.S. We kind of need this. They are very, what's the part?
Strategic?
Man, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Strategic. You can call it schmoozing. You can call it biz dev. You can call it, you can even call it a little bit like on the gray area of, not necessarily a positive word. You can call it a negative word that's only selfish interest for them. He lacks the basic understanding of diplomacy. Like, you have to realize when you're talking to NBC, the world is watching, and you kind of say, well, listen, that's collateral damage. I'm sorry you lost your cousin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, UAE. I'm sorry, Dubai. I'm sorry. Hey, what do you want me to do? You understand what I'm saying to them, Tom? You look like you want to say something.
No, when you're done with that point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Collateral damage works when you have a hot conflict in Kiev. That's the point of conflict. And residences on the outside are tragically impacted. That's collateral damage. Collateral damage is adjacent to the point of hot conflict. Collateral damage is not when you're trying to make a point and destroy an interest. And what Iran was trying to do, Pat, is lob missiles over at U.S. bases to make a point for America. That's not the point of conflict. Collateral damage would be Iran coming across the border and impacting, rural civilians and those things. That's collateral damage. Collateral damage is not, oh, I wanted to make a point. I sent a missile to hit America. My missile's guidance system was so terrible, and I hit the frickin' hotel. Or the energy weapons misguided the drone. The drone hit a hotel. It's like, dude, that's not collateral damage. You're a fool. You're exactly right, Pat. This is horrible.
I think so. I think this is horrible.
I think it's I'm so glad that you.
By the way, the only way, I'm sorry, Adam, the only way I see this that you can speak like that is something the rest of the world doesn't know, like meaning China's about to send something to you to protect you. Someone made a call to say they have your back. And the likelihood of that happening to me, it's less than 5%. It's maybe even less than 1%, but let's just say it's less than 5%. You talk like that when you need those guys. You have to use this interview in a way to reassure those guys that you are not the enemy. He said in the continuation of the conversation, he says, we made those calls before attacking, and we told them, here's what we're going to be doing. We're hitting U.S. military bases or we're hitting U.S. military properties. But at the same time, they effectively hit other places. So he's saying, I called them. And one of the countries he was very afraid of was Turkey. You could tell the way he gave the respect to Turkey was different than the other countries.
Oh, we didn't launch anything there.
He did. He did say that. Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just simplify this. There's a war going on. There's the good guys and the bad guys. U.S., Israel, and our allies are the good guys. Iran is the sole bad guy. There's nobody coming to their defense with the exception of their proxies like Hezbollah and the Houthis, and we know where Hamas is these days. Number two is Trump's in charge. If we've ever even thought about having the debate who the number one leader of the world is, it's Trump, and there's not even a close second. I'm sorry. But the silver lining here is now, with Iran being essentially decimated, and they will be in a matter of weeks, maybe months, there will be a new era in the Middle East where countries will sign these accords and get along, and the thorn in everybody's side for the last 47 years will be removed. That's my opinion of what will happen in the Middle East. Notice this, last point. How many Middle Eastern countries at this point, heads of state, are criticizing Israel? None. Nobody's saying anything. The war in Gaza is done. All eyes are on Iran now. You know, they said all eyes on Rafah. Nobody cared about that. All eyes are on Iran right now, and Iran is being exposed. The last thing Iran regime needs right now is their name in the news. Remember when they said they were going to kill people, and then they said the way to save these people's lives is talk about Iran. They want to do this in the darkness. They want to turn off the internet. They want to murder and maim their own people when nobody's looking. Well, now everybody's looking at Iran right now, and they have no choice. So they're going to lie. They're going to be deceitful, but everyone knows what they're doing at this point.
Yeah, this is showing who they've attacked.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Qatar, Cyprus, Israel, Iraq, Jordan, Turkey, U.S. assets, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Syria, Bahrain, Oman, Azerbaijan. Just making friends left and right.
And so you know what this means? They're all on the same team against Iran.
Can you imagine how double dumb that is?
Triple dumb.
You're in a fight and you can't make any allies. Any allies, and they're siding. I asked this question. I said, what was the chances that you would have thought 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, something's going to happen with Iran, Israel's going to attack, and all the, states, what do you call it? The Gulf states are going to side with U.S. and Israel. What do you think is the chance of that happening? Oh, zero. Oh, no way. Well, they just did. Why? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing it? Why did MBS call Khamenei Hitler? Why? You don't think he knows him? You think he knows him? You know him better than they do? Why did they do that? And, there's a...
Do you have that clip?
Of course.
MBS, have you played that yet?
You've never seen this clip?
MBS?
MBS calls Khamenei Hitler. Have you ever seen this?
No.
You've never seen this?
He said that he called... Maybe this is not recently, is it?
Oh, this is not recently, but MBS is... Rob, I send this interview to you right there.
Yep, right there.
We didn't play this clip?
We played it on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Go ahead
gotcha.
and play this clip. Watch this. Go ahead. Go back. Watch this.
Seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because he wants to expand. He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world and in Europe did not realize how dangerous Hitler was until what happened happened. I don't want to see the same events happening in the Middle East.
Does Saudi Arabia need nuclear weapons to counter Iran?
Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
Wow.
You've never seen that?
Maybe the most important conversation regarding the Middle East.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course. That shuts down so many of the conversations.
Calls
And
the
they all need the
Ayatollah
West.
the new Hitler.
Once upon a time,
and
these
says
guys...
we do not need a nuclear weapon as long as Iran doesn't have one.
Right.
There you go, guys. I mean,
Remember, once upon a time, the Arab embargo crippled the United States and created gas lines and all these things under Carter. Now, all these years later, we're a net energy exporter. Drill, baby, drill. And they'll say, we'll cut off your supply of oil. What are you talking about? I supply 60% of the natural gas to Europe. I'm an exporter now. I'm a net exporter. And so what are you talking about? So these guys need the West economically, and Saudi and friends do not want to be drawn into this. They want this over. They want to go back to selling to China and doing all the things they do. And
Can you do me a favor, Rob? A lot of people are saying that was AI. Can you go to ChatGPT and verify if that was AI? Ask the question, has MBS ever called Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, Hitler? Because people are saying that's AI. Maybe it is AI. If it is, we'll correct it. I apologize right now, immediately, myself. Oh, it's not AI.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Weird. 2017.
2017, 9 years ago, in a New York Times interview,
AI.
Iran's supreme leader is a new Hitler of the Middle East.
he repeated in the video that you just showed.
8 years ago, he said the same thing. So to the people that are like, there is no way he would say this about Khamenei, he just did. Do you know him better than MBS does? Let me tell you, this is the part. I called with a guy yesterday. I don't want to mention the names at all. On the call I had with a guy, actually, it was a good conversation. I said, listen, I lived with these people. They don't think like you think. They don't like what you stand for. They hate what you stand for. My every day, if I'm thinking about this thing, the only thing I ask is for this thing to be done quickly. Quickly. I don't want it to drag out. If you're praying this week, if you're praying today, if you're going to church, if you're doing whatever you're doing, the main thing is for this thing to be done quickly. And it looks like that's what they're solving for.